quick update from my last video. This headlight, the whole body, I'm going to replace with like a 7-inch kind of cafe racer style headlight because I'm kind of going for that look, hence the raw gas tank, and we'll get more of that in a second. But I didn't say that I upgraded the brake lines to braided brake lines. Huge difference in brake feel. These guys, they flex a ton, and this is an 08, which interestingly enough, well, I won't show the VIN, I guess, but it's 106, and it was actually made in 07. So, I mean, we're approaching 20 years old on the factory rubber brake line, and that thing, literally, when it was hot, you could squeeze the lever, and it would just expand, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, yeah, replacing that with the 7-inch. Nothing's changed down here. Still rocking the tubeless, which makes a huge difference in these little 250s. You don't want to have big, heavy tires and tubes if you're seeking performance. Yeah, and this is Travis at Go Race Suspensions, done the fork bits. Probably one of the biggest things that I've done, and that's Power Commander 6. That I used AI and just see the pants to tune. This thing rips. It'll run 100 miles an hour. You don't have to believe me. Whenever I have the opportunity to make a video, I'll show it using GPS. But I deleted the coolant overflow tank and this big heavy bracket and all this structure. I feel like I've done a pretty good job cleaning. It's electrical tape, but just using this wrap for front and bottom. And I've rerouted the voltage relay rectifier on the right side of the bike behind the other side panel. It's clean, functional. And you can see, and this is honestly a lot of weight in itself, right? But this is the highway dirt bike bars. So I don't have the original top clamps, but this would shave some weight. But I kind of like this thing. But anyway, suffice to say, I removed the handguards. I don't feel like they're necessary for me. I run these a little bit loose, and I have the breakaway lever, and the levers, they just shift and move. I'm not really sold on bark busters. I did look at some flag style mounts, but I got a Chirby sale on Amazon, and I couldn't really get them to mount up. But let's continue on this side of the bike. So yeah, all of this mess, and we're talking, that's several pounds, right, is off there. I've done some tweaking to the toolkit. This is about 1.2 pounds, all of this stuff. The rear end, now, you also notice too that I've got a really big and long Delcovic street bike style exhaust. And honestly, I don't know what it is about the, we'll call it the POV or field of view, but it makes it look super long, which it is, but it doesn't look this long. The Graves, I replaced the Graves, right? I had the full Graves system, which I still do. I have, the header or whatever, but for this, I just wanted something quieter. It's about half a pound heavier. It has an actual baffle. The one that comes with the Graves, it might quieten it down a little bit on the top end, but at idle, I swear it makes it louder. I don't know how they managed to do that, but I guess I'll get into the performance bit of this. This produces more top end power than the Graves. And I want to say it produces more low end torque than the Graves as well. I won't get into the details as to why I think that, but just generally speaking, the length of this helps with top end power. During valve overlap, with kind of the negative pressure that's created in like IE scavenging, as the intake valve is open and the exhaust valve are open, and you get, in layman's terms, a bit of a vacuum through the scavenging effect. You get like a pseudo forced induction, right? Where you're actually pulling air through the intake when you have that valve overlap. And I really feel that with this exhaust. Granted, it's not a ton, but this thing absolutely rips. Fourth gear wheelies with clutch. I'll have a video of that as well whenever I can make it. Can't ride right now, but yeah, this also, there was a tail tidy here, and I just kind of fabbed up this bracket And this is still super sturdy. You know, you could really use this to, if you wanted to use these straps or whatever to secure luggage. But this is like an all-in-one LED bar, and this saves a lot of weight. And, you know, it may not look the best, but it's super functional. Turn signals, the running light, the brake light, you know, everything's there for it to work. Tubeless in the rear as well. Yeah, you can see that. My cat just jumped on my back. Round. Let's see if I can get her off. There we go. Okay. So voltage regulator rectifier is being ran through here. And I've had no issues with it overheating. And I recently learned from a fellow WR250X guru that a certain year V-Strum voltage regulator rectifier works with the WR, and for a lot of guys who aren't using that crazy stator output that these motorcycles are known for, the way these OEM regulator rectifiers work is all the excess voltage gets sent to ground, as opposed in the series one in the voltage in the V-Strum, it doesn't do that, right? And that produces a lot of unnecessary heat. I've not had any issues with it, but that is something I'm considering playing with. But, so yeah, got the Graves, airbox, all emission stuff removed, right? All the basic stuff. And interestingly, I'm able to not run the plastic bit. You can see this is super, super secure. And then any impacts, right, is going with this radiator brace, which is connected to the frame on multiple points, right? So this is super safe despite not running this side plastic and have a bit of adhesive after remove, and it's not complete, right? I can't ride right now, so I've just been tinkering, right? What else have I done? Yeah, so airbox lid removed, if I haven't already said that. Flapper mod, basically all the emission stuff, and also the passenger pegs, I removed those. But one of the cool things with my current setup is that everything can go back to stock, you know, no issue. So that's not super important to me because I've had this bike for years and I just love it and it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm willing to, you know, it's not like I'm keeping it thinking of resale value, like in that context or whatever. But what else? Honestly, I think that's about it. You know, you can see power commander there. Graves block off plate here. And then there's a vacuum line you have to block off as well. But honestly, the wiring fuse box is right here. And it's actually really secure, as well as that this is 3M double-sided tape. And it doesn't interfere with the steering. Got nothing moving. The mirror interferes with the steering though, apparently. But yeah, everything works. You know, everything's clean. I mean, I think it looks damn near OEM. Another thing too, another big benefit is with all that stuff that was hanging here, the coolant overflow tank, blah, 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 you're really blocking air on the engine. So if you're moving at all, there's a lot more airflow coming through here. And yeah, I think the biggest takeaways for performance, also this bike weighs 275 pounds. I just weighed it. The thing that's killing the performance on these 250s that I see the internet kind of echoing is the D606 rear tire, which is a monstrously heavy tire and paired with an ultra heavy duty tube. Let's see. I want to say, no joke, it's almost 6 pounds, right? From running like a normal, well, this is a Shinko 244, which I absolutely love. All the videos you see on my YouTube channel are running this tire, and it's fantastic. If it's muddy, it's not so great, but if it's dry, you're not limited much at all. At least I haven't been in Southern California. But yeah, that's it. Go Race suspension in the rear. Yeah, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to comment. I'll try to get to them. My YouTube is weird. It doesn't, I don't get notifications for comments. But yeah, there she is.